Alright guys, we're back for another 2023 Supercoach video. So I thought since preseason's passed, I'll just go through and kind of give my thoughts on a couple of players. I watched most of the games, not all of them all the way through, but I caught bits and pieces of at least all of them. Or at least bits and pieces of all of them. So yeah, we'll go through them. Give just some thoughts on some players. We'll show you how I evaluate players and kind of guys to hop onto their bandwagon, guys not to pick at all. The first couple of them are very light notes, and I go more in detail towards the end. Since it was was it 9 games, 10 games, it will be split up into 2 parts. This one will go up to Swans Blues, and then part 2 will be everything that's past Swans Blues. Just because I think part 2 is a lot smaller, a lot less players to talk about. So first we've got Hawks and Pies. I was about to say Saints. I've got notes just in front of me. So first of all, this was the biggest player of, was it Thursday night? Was James Worpel. So coming in 56 average last year, 309k. He looked really good. He got all the CBAs he wanted to see. He had 17 contested touches, which is pretty high for a midfielder. This is definitely something that's going to give you a good score. At 300k, let's see, what does he need to make about 150k? This isn't like the perfect way to do it, but so he needs to get to 450. Can he average, say, 85? Like, to round it to a fair number, say 85. With the role he's in, I'd say yes. The only issue is his kicking has not improved at all. And Sam Mitchell, new coach of Hawthorn, he's kind of putting together his own team now. He's finally become a proper coach. He's been pretty critical of his kicking. So it's how long is he going to hold his way and say, all right, Worpel, you're staying in the midfield, especially with like the young guns coming in. I don't think this is a bad pick by any means. It's a risky pick, but so is like everything else at 300k. Ownership has jumped up a fair bit. I think he was at like 3-4%. He's already up to 11. I have wrote down here that because his kicking's bad, he could just be moved up to kind of that half forward, whatever he was doing like the last couple of years. Maybe you chuck McKenzie or something in the midfield, and Ward probably wants midfield time now, second year. Not like a risk-free type player, but definitely someone you should consider. Next, as I just brought up his name, was Cam McKenzie. He looked great. I think this is definitely a rookie you want to start. I don't think he's been in my team all that often, just because I haven't had a chance to see him. But after that game, he's definitely in. He looks so talented. He's easily best 22. People are going to compare him to Ward from last year. Similar role, kind of outside mid. But this guy, he just looks better. Like in every facet, just looks like a better version of him. As I was saying, he kind of goes all the way around the ground, rotates a fair bit, but he's primarily a midfielder. Plays outside a bit, but he got a fair bit of the ball. I haven't got his stats up. I don't know how visible it is. I've got the fan footy up. This might be terrible for you guys to see. I'm not too sure. But as you can see, he had easily over 20 touches. Fine efficiency for a rookie. Again, this is like, it's not first game, it's preseason, doesn't count, but this was kind of like first professional outing for him. I'll take that. That's a good score. Almost broke a ton in his first professional outing, let's say. Next, another like rookie to pick. I think this guy's also a lock. Is Fergus Green. He was just the best forward, probably on the ground that day. Even the Pies, I think he was just the best forward on the ground. Presented very well. I was very, very impressed with his forward work. His kicking accuracy is about fine for a rookie. Actually, probably above average for a rookie. we'll see how it goes when, like, say, Mitch Lewis or something comes back. But if, Fergus is a crazy name. If he can, like, hold a spot, kick a couple of goals, look impressive, couple of first games. Does it say how long Mitch is out for? 3-4. So say round 4, if he can put up a couple of good games, maybe kick a couple, he should be able to hold his spot, honestly. Maybe move Dylan Moore into the midfield, which he looked great as well. I haven't got him down in notes, so just like kind of talk generally about him. He looked really good, Dylan Moore, especially in the first half. Second half, I think he was off in the second half. Yeah, he was. Not 15 touches isn't going to blow you away, but he looked really good. 2 goals is carrying the 70 a fair bit. But when you consider he wasn't playing as a CBA, attendance type of mid, to have 15 touches in a half wasn't it's definitely good. But I wouldn't pick him just yet. I don't think Dylan Moore is a pick by any means. Actually, I think he's a very, very easy avoid at the moment, especially over 500k. Definitely an easy avoid. Could come good mid-season though, so maybe a trading guy. Just one more thing on Fergus. I have got written down. The Hawks forward line is an island this year. Jai Newcomb isn't a good kick. Just spoke about Warple, not a good kick. Mackenzie's not an inside mid, so he's not... Although Mackenzie's kicking did actually look alright for a rookie, he's not inside mid, so he's not going to be the one that really pumps it inside 50. Will Day, we'll talk about him in a second, but again, not an amazing, get the ball, kick it inside 50 type of guy. So it is an island up there. They were struggling to score at the start. I think the game started 3 goals to zip for Collingwood, in Collingwood's favour. So yeah, Fergus could have a couple of off games. That's why he's definitely a bench guy. Currently in my team, I think he's the final forward spot. And I think that's where you want him. Nowhere close to the field, but he'll make money. Will Day got the time you wanted to see. He was playing pretty much everywhere, which is actually also the first criticism I've got of him. He plays everywhere. He's too versatile. He's almost too good for his own good, if that makes sense. So, played inside, played outside, can play defender, we know that. I'm not saying he plays as a forward, but he pushes up a little bit as a forward. His CBAs weren't consistent. He got them, they just weren't consistent. So he's the type of guy that, maybe they make a sub. With the new sub rules and stuff, you can just kind of make a tactical sub. They could sub someone, not him, and then get him to fill that guy's role. So say they take off a defender for a forward and they put him back into defense. That's possible. I could definitely see that. Yeah, I think the risk is just a bit too high for this pick. I like him and I've had him in my team before. I just think the risk is a bit too high now. He like I said, he's a bit too versatile for his own good. If he was someone that looked great as a midfielder, wasn't an amazing wing, say he couldn't get the ball on the wing, and just maybe didn't want to play defense, something like that, then I'd say he's a good pick. He's again, what was he, 360? So he has to kind of make it to around 400 and something, no, almost 500k he has to make it to. Yeah, I don't know. What is that? Yeah, that's almost 500, not over 500k he has to make it to. So is he going to average in the 90s? I don't think so. I reckon in the 80s is possible. 90s if he plays the midfield. But yeah, I think this is a pick that it's just not worth picking. But yeah, you can if you want to. It's not terrible. Sicily, last one for Hawks. He looks like exactly what you think he looks like. Didn't score amazing. I don't know if you saw, but yeah, 96. Not an amazing score for the second highest priced defender. But yeah, it was a preseason game. It's not really something to read into. New captain of Hawthorn, so he's got a little bit of extra pressure on him. It looks like the ball's going to be living in Hawks' defensive 50. Yeah, I don't know. Good pick. Don't see any problems with it. He's definitely safe to be top 6. In my view, I think he's anywhere between like 2 and 4. I think D1 is Doherty, Stewart level, and then he's like just that one echelon lower. He's definitely good push for D1. I just don't think he'll have it at the end of the year. Like how he is now, he's D2. I think that's exactly where he stays, and I think Stewart or Doherty just go up to D1. So that's it for Hawthorn. On to the Pies. Not much here. Only 3 players. Just didn't have much that I was looking at personally. So first was Dacos. He got tagged. He copped a Finn McGuinness tag. Not a lot to read into on this game. I think a lot of people are going to overreact and just drop him out of the team. It's already happened a bit. He was at 49% ownership, down to 41. I think I saw it at lowest at 40. So, you know, he was tagged. It was a hard tag. McGuinness was just following him everywhere around the ground. So, just he couldn't get on the ball. Not a great, I guess, thing to see is when a tag completely eliminates your player. You want them to be able to play through it a bit. It's kind of what makes Anil, Fife a couple of years ago, Oliver even, like those players like really that high level because they can play through a tag and still put up a reasonable score, like say a 90 or something like that. But yeah, the second year player, probably first time he's ever copped the really hard tag. Not a lot to read into. If you like the pick him. His ownership is crazy high, so if he like pops off early in the season, you do start behind the 8 ball. So yeah, I think a lot of Collingwood fans will have him. And like I said, I've got here in the notes, he looked good once he broke the tag later in the game. So it's up to you if you want to pick him. Next, we've got someone who was in my team for a while, and then I had to take him out. It's Darcy Cameron. I shy away from this pick extremely far. So it looks like Cox is ruck 1 for them for now. And Cameron was very good around the ground. He presented like pretty good on the forwards. Kind of just was able to shift around everywhere. He's very athletic for his size, so I think they're going to use him as a kind of around the ground ruck guy, where like because Cox isn't like extremely fast. Like he's athletic in terms of like he can get up high, but he can't really move around the ground amazing. So they could use Cameron as the around the ground ruck, and then Cox is more the physical ruck. So yeah, just wait and see on that. I wouldn't pick him round 1. Reevaluate later in the season. Cox could fall off. Cox isn't an amazing ruckman, so yeah, just reevaluate later in the season. Could be a good forward ruck pick. And then finally, Tom Mitchell. Just I wouldn't pick him at the price. It's quite simple. Like he got the touches and stuff, like 28 touches, all were handballs. Wouldn't pick him. Not my type of player. So pick him if you want to, if you're a big Hollywood fan. I just don't see a point to it. For, 10k more, just go to Tom Green, who we'll talk about later. Next game. So we're on to the Freo and Port game. Not like heaps to talk about here, but I guess there were a couple like kind of important players. So first we got just a rookie that kind of stood out to me. Sam Sturt. This is like a last chance type of rookie. Like there's no one else. Pick him. He'll maybe get a game. I don't think he'll play round 1, but once there's like an injury to their forwards, he'll come in. I think he actually put up a pretty reasonable score, wasn't it? Like a 70, 80? 80, yeah. So he's not terrible. Just like I said, not the ideal pick. Even at 123k, I much prefer Fergus Green. Much prefer. But yeah. So next we got Darcy, Sean Darcy. He's my ruck one right now. He was before the game, and now he's just really solidified that spot. He looked amazing. He just dominated Lycett, like completely pulled his pants down and everything. It was a domination. He probably has the highest ceiling of these kind of guys up here. Gawn can put up a 150, especially when he's in like that, fall back into defense, take a couple of intercepts type of thing. Wits probably has the lowest. We'll get onto him in a second, but probably the lowest, but safest. English, it's probably between English and Darcy for the highest. English can go forward, kick a couple of goals, and that's what really boosts up his ceiling. And heart stopped for a second. I thought I wasn't recording. Yeah, and then there's Darcy, who, if you go back a couple of years, he was insane. 178 versus North. That was only last year. So, yeah, I like his schedule at the start. Marshall's, not, someone he can easily throw around, but then, like, next game is North. So, I like his schedule. I like the pick. Preseason was good. Only thing is, there was no Luke Jackson, and that I've got it here, all caps, no Luke Jackson. That will play a role. Like, don't think it won't. It will play a role. There's no way that Jackson left Melbourne to play even more as like just a forward, so he will have ruck time. But yeah, so I still think Darcy is a top ruckman. Where would I put him? I think top 3. I reckon it goes like Gawn, Darcy, English, Wits, something like that. But Wits is probably the safest, so maybe he goes up a bit. I don't know. But yeah, I like Darcy's game. I liked it enough to pick him ruck 1. And he's probably not moving for now. If he does move, it'd probably only be to go up to Wits or Gawn. But yeah, next player. Hayden Young. So this has kind of been one of the controversial, not controversial is the wrong word, but popular talk about picks. I don't know why I wrote that, but popular talk about picks. So coming off a 92 average year, he takes kick-ins now. He's the almost sole kick-in type of guy. It just looks really unimpressive, and that's 2 weeks in a row. Like the unofficial practice game last week, he didn't look amazing in. Probably looked a bit worse last year, last week, and a bit better this week. But yeah, I think 500k. I said what my rankings were in the other video. I do think they've changed. I still think Dacos is number 1 just because the potential. I'd say it's like Dacos, Ridley, then Young, then Redman. Redman kind of just looks like he's lost that role from last year, which I did say in the other video. I said if Redman keeps his role, then he's pretty good, but he didn't, so yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I would say for now it is, I mean, we'll get into the Essendon game, but Ridley is definitely a trap, but I think you'd be safer picking Ridley over Young at the moment. But I did say here, like, he was unimpressive, but made a lot of simple errors. So maybe he cleans that up. What did he score? What was the final score? Young, 79. So he cleans up the errors. It's probably an extra 10 or so points. It puts him at 89. He was on kick-ins. I mean, there were a couple of behinds as well. 13 behinds. It's a lot of kick-ins. Yeah, I don't know. Should push 100 average, but do you want 100 average or do you want like a 110 average? Which is what like I think Dacos could push like 105, 110 type player. Could, like, if Hearn's a 105 player, I think Dacos could be a 105 player. That's kind of like my thinking on that. Fife, I just wrote no a bunch of times. This is definitely do not pick Nat Fife. Don't do it. He scored good. He had 3 goals for a 90. This is not the type of guy to pick. Not at all. Do not pick Nat 5. He's a big... Just put an X through him. That's all I'm going to say about that. Do not pick Nat 5. And then last was Andrew Brayshaw, who did great fantasy-wise, got the touches and everything. Not too sure on him being a starting pick. I've seen that kind of like floated around a little bit. I don't think he's the worst. If you are someone that likes Brayshaw, and I do, I think you're fine with picking him. I wrote just good for preseason because he was obviously playing to a preseason level. Yeah, not 110% every contest. Once the season starts, and he's got good ruckman around him, a good midfield around him. I think that Brayshaw's a great pick here. He's only gone up in scoring every year, so granted he's not like a 10-year vet or something like that, but he's gone up in scoring every year. Could probably push top mid status. 115 looks like top mid status. Actually, it's more so 120. I could see him pushing like between 115 and 118. I don't know. I don't think he's a bad pick. I think that if you had him in before, he stays in. You saw everything you wanted to see. Then on the Port side, it was pretty simple. Only 2 players to really talk about, but I've got 3 noted down. So first was Rosie. This is a super easy pick. So 111 in a preseason game. Super easy pick. He's a safe lock for top 6 forwards. At worst, he's like a top 8 forwards type of guy. So yeah, this is an easy pick. Not too much to talk about with him. Looked clean with the ball. Got the CBAs he wanted. Role looks pretty secure. Like, he looks too good in the role to change it. Hinkley's fighting for his job. I can't see him making bad moves, like moving someone who looks good in a role to another role. That would just be stupid. Next is like super quick. Lysett, get him out of the team. Lysett and forget. Absolute bin it. He sucked. He got destroyed by Darcy. Huge dud. 2% is 2% too high. Shouldn't be in your team. Super simple. And then we've got the last one, which is another player that kind of people have been looking at. So Horn Francis. I wasn't too impressed with him. I thought that he still looks very raw. It's just a second year player, but he still looks pretty raw. I've just written down not worth the risk. For 348k less, you could get Tanner Braun. It's one of the two. I think it's Bruin. You could just go for him, who looks a lot better, a lot lower risk. He got the mid time, he got on ball time, got CBA, stuff like that, but not worth the risk. Maybe in draft, maybe in fantasy. Not a Supercoach pick. Maybe later in his career, just not right now. Next, we've got the Geelong game, who, I just was talking about Geelong players. First, we've got Ratugolea, because he was kind of like a big talking point, one of the guys I really wanted to watch. He is playing defense. Looks like he's the tall defender, so he just takes the tallest forward. Not the greatest role, but for 174k, he'll definitely make 150k, which is it's still the baseline for what you want to be worth a trade and stuff like that. We've got 36 trades, so that probably does drop down a bit, but if you work under the 150k rule, you're putting yourself in a good spot. And I think Ratugolea still does that. He should, like I said, he's still kind of a lock for round 1. Like, I don't see him losing the spot. The only guys that weren't playing, we'll just bring up Geelong's list, was like Mitch Duncan, who plays defense. I'm not like super knowledgeable on Geelong's list or anything, but like, I think he keeps his spot. Not a great score, only 49, but should have like one big game somewhere, like takes a couple of intercepts and locks a guy down, and it'll just kickstart his cash gen and then maybe move him on from there. Next, we've got Tanner Bruin, who looked insanely good. This is another Geelong find a diamond in the rough. It's so annoying for a guy that doesn't like Geelong. They keep getting away with this. They can't keep getting away with this. Selwood retires and they find another good midfielder that can just walk straight in there and fill that role. He looked like a star. Like he actually looked like a multi-year talented player. Like he looked great. He was everywhere around the ground. Probably the best breakout potential of these kind of guys around here, around this price range. Yeah, I think this is a very easy pick. Worst case scenario, you trade him and he's made 150k. Like, I think this guy can pretty easily push like 450k. Especially when you look at forwards. Like, I think he can push a 90 average and be around here. I think he can. I don't think it's like, he's definitely doing it or anything, but I think he can. CBAs galore. Huge like disposal getter as well. So how many did he end up with? Oh, actually not that many. Only 19. But it looked like he always had the ball. Good tackle numbers. Just everything you want to see. Contested. Yeah. I think this is a super easy pick. I swear he had more of the ball. Maybe it just felt like it. But yeah, another Geelong star player. God damn it. I wish that team would fall off. And then lastly, we've got Tom Stewart, who looked exactly like what you'd expect. Like, took intercepts, played good defense. He's a 600k defender. That's exactly what I wrote here. Looked as good as every other 600k player. Pick him if you like him. I've got Doherty. I could easily be talked into Stewart. Could easily be talked into Sicily. Could easily be talked into Dawson. It's just what it is. Not much to talk about with him. He's very good. Pick him if you like him. And then onto the Brisbane side of things. So Brisbane really just dominated the game, especially in the first half. It was just a blowout. I think it was kind of because Geelong didn't have Cameron and Hawkins, but then also it doesn't explain like why they were so light in defense. It's not good for Radically. Radically did cop a head bump, but it's not like crazy or anything. Yeah, it's a little concerning now I think about it. But anyway, on to Brisbane. Dunkley is a super must pick. Do not go without this guy. You have to have him in. He could push 120 average the way he's playing. I feel like it's been a while since we've had like a 120 average forward at the start of the year. Like Bont was obviously in there last year and stuff like that, who was what was he, 116? Yeah, but like a 120 average type of guy from the start of the season. Dunkley could be. Yeah, just there's nothing to talk about with him. You must pick this guy. Neil was next on the list, so gave you everything you wanted to see. Again, he knew it was preseason. He wasn't going 100%. I wrote like lazy 120. So if you like Neil, and I do, pick him. So there's nothing there. Like, he played good. He had all the touches you want to see. Had the scoring you want to see. What else do you want from him? He's a top 5 mid easy. And then we've got like the rookie, who is Ashcroft, who really looked developed. Like he didn't look like a rookie. I feel like I said this about someone else. But yeah, he looked really calm, composed and stuff for a first game type of guy. Will play every game as long as he's not injured. Has a good role. He really just slides into that midfield super easily. He's definitely going to be the rising star right here. Very, 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 very likely to be rising star. And yeah, he probably is. Like, let's be honest, he probably is. They talk about him too much. And then we've got like the Wilmot McKenna combo. I'll just bring up McKenna. So McKenna will probably play all 22. I don't see a reason for him not to. He's got experience. Geelong, Brisbane have heaps of injuries in the back line. He's versatile, can play anywhere, which again, like I said, not amazing because versatile means sub risk. Bring it up again. The sub changes means that you can bring on a tactical sub whenever you feel like it. McKenna really feels like a type of sub player. Like I said, I wrote here, likely plays all 22. Scoring's not great. He didn't score too good. I think, again, he only had like a 50 or something like that. That's not the game. That's the game. Where are we? McKenna, 53. Yeah. He's not going to score too well. I would try to avoid having him on field, but if you have to in round one, you just have to. But yeah, he could be a sub. I could see him playing just a sub role for all, like he plays in all 22, but he's the sub that they just decide where to put him that game. And then they got Wilmot, who made a couple errors late. Should play because, like I said, they've got injuries galore back there. But yeah, again, not a great scorer. I'd put him on the bench. I wouldn't play him. Next game, the second last game we'll do Sydney Blues, and then that's it. For St Kilda, Marshall looked fantastic. He looked dominant around the ground. He did everything you want to see. I think this is an easy ruck 2 pick. I don't see a reason to go like Darcy English or anything like that. You go like, I don't know, say one of these guys, Witts and Marshall, or Darcy and Marshall. Like, I don't see any reason for him to not be in the team. 500k, he's definitely going to add to this average. Plus, there's a chance he gets forward DPP. I don't know if he will. It's on the cards. It's possible. Yeah, he's definitely going to push into this bracket up here. Easy pick, very very easy pick. The one thing I did right though was it was against Draper, who some people were hyping up to say it was a breakout year for him. Not me. I never really saw it in him. I think that goal of the year was probably the best he's ever going to get. Yeah, I don't know. He'll be alright. So, yeah, I said could be R1. I thought that meant round 1. I was like, he's definitely playing, but he could definitely be ruck 1. So, easy pick. Very, very easy pick. Next is Steele, who I've had in the team probably since the start, and I think it's the first time I've taken him out. Let's go to him. So he just really looked disinterested. Like, he was definitely taking some liberties with the fact it's preseason. I'm not, going 110. If you like Steele, I do. I think he's one of the funnest, most entertaining mids to watch. Just because he does everything. For like a guy that likes stat sheet stuff as LeBron and stuff like that, Steele kind of does the same thing. He just gets stats all across the board. He'll still be a top mid. Like, he's 110 average. He's he could definitely, like, at minimum he's pushing 115. Like, this is a fine pick. If you had Steele, this is no reason to trade him out. Like, this is still fine to pick him. Yeah, like I said, no reason to fade the pick. Will still be a top mid. Next we're getting on to like kind of the cheaper guys at what's his name? At St Kilda versus Jack Bytel, 150k mid. Looked impressive. Remember there was no Windhager. He was playing a tagging role on Parrish, so he could just be a tag in mid that they bring in and out. Sub risk is there again because he can play a little bit of everywhere. Say like an inside mid goes down, he can come and play that. This game he played when there was no Windhager. Windhager's the usual tagger, but should move into the midfield this year. I haven't got any notes on him just because he went out in like the first 5 minutes of the game, so didn't see anything of him. Still don't mind the pick. I just think the risk is a lot higher now because you didn't see him play. But for 240k, 260k. Yeah, I don't know. I don't mind Windhager. I don't mind Bytel either, but 158k and he's probably going on your bench. It's probably a bit high to spend. If you got the money, definitely go for it, because I think his job security is a bit better than other rookies. He's not a lock for round 1, but he looked alright. Not too sure what his scoring's going to be though. And then Sinclair. Sinclair was kind of a big... saw a couple of people talking about him during the game. So of these 600k mids, after the weekend, I'd say Sinclair's the lowest. It wasn't really role-based, is why I'm saying that, but the role has changed a little bit. Nothing extreme. To the average person, you'd still say it's the same. He just made some pretty bad errors. So dropped a couple of easy marks. What did he end up scoring? It was like 60s or something, wasn't it? Saints. Where are you? Oh, yes, 60. So yeah, I wouldn't start him in the team. Definitely not. I think all these guys are better. But I think I even would have said that before. He's got the first bye. If he comes good, he's a very easy to just bring in after the first bye. But yeah, not the type of guy I would start. Don't see a fall off in the scoring. Maybe he drops from say 114, that's basically 114 to like 108, something like that. But yeah, don't see too much of a drop. He still looks good. He was still getting up for the marks, right? So it's not like he's hurt or anything. It's just made a couple of errors. Happens to the best of them. And then Essendon. I'm gonna hate talking about this so much. Jordan Ridley. I've done this before. I've done this 2 years in a row. The first time I missed him. First time I missed him. Then he got hurt. Saved me picking him. Next year I picked him. He was pretty good. Not, groundbreaking or anything like that. Just pretty good. And then, was it last year or the year before? One of the years I picked him and he just sucked. I think it was last year. He sucked. So I've been burnt on this so many times. Like, I don't think I can pick him. Like, even if he's good, I don't think it's logical for me to pick him. But he looked really good. So I wrote very, very likely a trap. He's likely a trap, but the role looked really good. He had his intercepts back on. It was shared kick-ins, but he still got some kick-ins. So, there's like a basement to his scoring. His intercepts were good. And it wasn't just shared kick-ins with Redmond, which is kind of what it was last year. It was kind of just shared kick-ins with the whole team. So, if it doesn't pay off, there's a lot bigger risk to it, because he could just drop like a 60 or 50 or something like that. But yeah, when he's on, what did he score? Was it, how high was it? Am I gonna 128? I feel like he did this last year and I picked him, and that's why I can't do it. I can't do it. Yeah, pick at your own risk. Next is Parrish. So Parrish copped a light tag. I wouldn't say it was a hard tag. Jack Bytel is not like tag of the century. He's not Finn McGuinness. He's not De Boer or anything like that. So, oh my god, come on. So, if you had him, keep him. What did I write about him? Yeah, looked disinterested. He looked a lot like Steele did. Probably had more touches than Steele though. So, where are we? Parrish. Ooh, 10 touches. Yikes. 10 touches. I didn't know it was that bad. I don't pay attention to like preseason stats that much, because like you go back last week, Tom Green had 50 touches. Come on. 10 touches in a light tag. I mean, he was playing like it was preseason. But this is why you can't start him. He's got Finn McGuinness round 1. He's 610k. He's got Finn McGuinness round 1. He struggles in tags. McGuinness is probably going to jump between Parrish and Merritt. Whichever one's kind of on fire, he probably just jumps to and then does work on them the whole game. I would not start either of these guys. Merritt is the template for a trade-in player, and then Parrish, he's not good playing through a tag. So, and it's what's held him back for the last couple of years, not being able to play through a tag. Merritt, it's one line, great trading target. Stick to that. And then kind of one that's a little bit different is Setterfield. So he looks like their CBA guy. Like he's the three mids at CBA. It looks like it's Merritt, Parrish, Setterfield. At least it did in the preseason. I'm not, again, super familiar with Essendon's list. Merritt demands the time. He'll probably be in there, but what was Shield playing half forward? Oh, inside mid. But he does go up forward. And then you got Parrish. I don't know. Setterfield had a lot of CBAs. The numbers haven't came out yet. It's only Sunday. I would imagine the numbers come out tomorrow on CBA numbers. Yeah, looks consistent. Looked like a consistent CBA mid for Essendon. But he looked a lot like Kyle Langford. So I wrote here, how long until he's rotated forward? He does look like kind of the Langford role. Maybe he swaps with Shield instead of Langford. I don't know. We'll wait and see. I don't think that's a pick you really want to make. 348k. I think Warple's a bit better. Setterfield could definitely push the average up. I think he had a 92 average in 2020? Was it 2020? What year was it? He did have a high 90 average one of these years. Yeah, okay, so really that was his best year, huh? I thought it was in the 90s. I think it's probably 90s if you take out the first game. Yeah. I'd go Warple. I think Warple's role security is a bit better. For the same, but yeah, a little bit cheaper. And then the last one, we've got a rookie for him. Alwyn Davey. Brother or cousin of Jaden Davey, who's a forward. Jaden's out till mid-season with surgeries and stuff like that. I'm not too sure what the injury was, but I heard them talking about a surgery, so he's out for a while. He definitely put his hand up for selection. He looked good in a forward line for Essendon, which kind of lacks a bit of talent. He looked fine. He looks like someone that will get time. But yeah, he's a bench option. Under 123k, so he's a bit cheaper rookie. I don't know if we're going to get a 102k rookie this year that's going to play. Maybe Chincotta, but who knows. So I changed my mind. I'll do up to there for this video, and then next one will be Swans, Blues, Eagles, Crows, Giants, Suns, Dogs, Roos, because this Demons Tigers game has like 2 people to talk about. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed this. Hope it gave you a bit of an insight on players. Not too many rookies kind of put their hand up, which I was a bit disappointed with over the weekend. I don't think the rookies really look too good. Don't think a lot of rookies got chances to look good. But yeah, let me know who you've added to your team through this preseason weekend. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next one, which might be up today, might be up tomorrow. Give it a shot. But yeah, see you all next time. Tasty out.